Howie Roseman may have found the next superstar of the Philadelphia Eagles, my friend. And the best part? This player had never touched a football until 4 years ago. With the number 23 overall pick in the 2026 draft in hand, the Eagles are one decision away from changing the future of the franchise. And the name dominating conversations right now might be the boldest developmental move of the Roseman era. I'm going to tell you everything about this incredible prospect, what he means for Philly's offensive line, and why Eagles fans need to pay attention to this story right now. But first, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now because the draft starts next week and the content is going to be intense every single day around here. Here's the thing. Lane Johnson is 36 years old. He's still one of the best tackles in football when he's on the field, a future Hall of Famer, without a shadow of a doubt. But time is ruthless even with the greatest, and Lane played just 449 snaps last season due to injuries. His contract carries a cap hit exceeding $20 million in the final year of his deal, and the Eagles' competitive window is wide open right now, with the team having just won the Super Bowl. So how does Howie Roseman solve that puzzle? How does he maintain an elite offensive line without compromising cap space over the next few years? The answer may lie in a 22-year-old tackle who came to football in the most unusual way imaginable. His name is Max Aianer. Max Aianer. Write that name down. A native of Nigeria, he was a soccer and basketball athlete before he ever touched a football. When did he start playing? In 2021. That means we're talking about a player with just 4 years of experience in the sport who is being discussed as a potential first-round pick in the NFL draft. But don't be fooled. This guy's athletic profile is simply exceptional. We're talking about a tackle who moves with stunning fluidity for his size, combining lateral quickness, balance, and recovery speed that translate directly to high-level pass protection. He's not just big, he is athletically functional at a level that most tackles simply cannot reach. And his physical testing metrics, they place him in the same athletic tier as Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata, coming out of their own evaluation processes. Think about it. Mailata himself was a former Australian rugby player who barely understood the rules of football when the Eagles selected him. Today he is an all-pro cornerstone of the offensive line. That developmental model, identifying exceptional athletes with non-traditional sports backgrounds and transforming them into elite pieces, is exactly the DNA of the Eagles under Howie Roseman and the legacy of coach Jeff Stoutland. Iheanachor is not just a fit for that system. The description from Bleeding Green Nation is direct. He is the next iteration of that model. But what exactly makes Iheanakor's physical profile so special? First, the movement. In an offense that emphasizes perimeter screens, second-level blocking, and zone versatility, the ability to move laterally with speed and precision is not a detail, it is a fundamental requirement. Iheanachor meets that requirement at a level that few tackles at the top of this draft can match. Second, the recovery. High-level pass rushers will force situations where the tackle is at a disadvantage for a fraction of a second. The ability to recover positioning and neutralize the rusher is what separates the good from the great. And third, and perhaps most impressive, is the learning curve. 4 years in the sport, and this guy is already being discussed as a top 25 prospect. That doesn't happen without an athletic and cognitive ability that is completely out of the ordinary. The real question becomes, how does Iheanachor compare to the other tackles in the 2026 class? Bleeding Green Nation placed the pick side by side with Caleb Lomu, another elite offensive tackle prospect. The difference is clear. Lomu has more polish, more technical refinement, more consolidated experience. Iheanachor has ceiling. And when the question is long-term development, when you're trying to build the next pillar of your offensive line for the next 8 or 10 years, ceiling matters a great deal. But that's only part of the story. The other part is financial, and it is extremely important to the Eagles' future. Taking a step back to understand the full picture of the Eagles' cap situation. Jalen Hurts has a cap hit escalating significantly starting in 2027. Jalen Carter is on track for an extension that will set the market for defensive tackles. DeVonta Smith will command top receiver money when he re-signs. In that context, a first-round rookie contract makes all the difference in the world. We're talking about approximately $4 million per year over 4 years, with a 5th-year option. Compare that to Lane Johnson's cap hit, exceeding $20 million. The difference, which could reach $16 million per season, creates the flexibility Roseman needs to retain the other elite talents on the roster. That's the logic of the move. You don't wait for the problem to show up. You solve it before it happens, proactively, while the competitive window is still open. And the Eagles know that better than anyone. The Mailata story is the proof of concept. You select the athlete, you invest in the development, and when the need arises, the piece is already ready. If Iheanachor is selected with pick 23, the plan would be to have him learning for at least one season alongside Lane Johnson, absorbing the technical details of the game, understanding the Eagles' offensive system from the inside, and developing the physical tools necessary to handle the best pass rushers in the NFL. When Johnson decides to retire, Iheanachor won't come in as a disoriented rookie. He'll come in as a player who spent years in the best tackle development laboratory in professional football. But there are real risks in this selection, and it's important to be honest about them. 4 years of experience is still not a lot when it comes to the technical rigor the NFL demands. Iheanachor's film does not yet fully justify being the 23rd overall pick, according to evaluations from Bleeding Green Nation itself. There are questions about how he will respond to the athleticism of NFL pass rushers, players like Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, or the monsters of the NFC East that he would face twice a year. The ceiling is high, but the floor is uncertain. And in a first-round selection, you are betting significant draft capital on a projection. Is it worth taking that risk? It depends on what the Eagles prioritize. There are other solid options in the 2026 class. Blake Miller from Clemson is described as a high-floor prospect, consistent, technical, reliable. Wyatt Freeling has impressive athleticism and has already played as a starting left tackle at Georgia. Both are less risky, more polished, more predictable options. If the Eagles want certainty, Miller might be the safer pick in this range. If the Eagles want to repeat the Mailata formula and identify the next cornerstone before he becomes what he has the potential to become, Iheanachor is the bet. The NFC East context makes this decision even more urgent. The Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders are all investing in their offenses for 2020. The Eagles' offensive line was the backbone of the championship Super Bowl run, and protecting Jalen Hurts, now carrying one of the most expensive contracts in NFL history, is a responsibility that leaves no room for carelessness. It's not just about having a good tackle. It's about making sure Hurts arrives healthy at the end of every single season. It's about maintaining the ability to create the time windows that the Eagles' offense needs to operate at its highest level. An elite offensive line is not a luxury for this franchise. It is an existential necessity. And keep in mind that Howie Roseman already has 8 picks in this 2026 draft. The Eagles have capital to work with. They have pick 23 in the first round, picks in the second and third round that can be used to address other roster needs, safety, wide receiver, interior line. The pressure of using pick 23 to solve every single need all at once simply does not exist. That means Roseman can make the choice based on the genuine value of the prospect, not out of desperation. And if the genuine value at pick 23 is Max Aianer, the Eagles have every structure in place to make that investment work. With so many variables at play, Iheanakor's athletic ceiling versus Miller's floor, the urgency of Lane Johnson's succession, the long-term cap space impact, and the need to protect Jalen Hurts inside a competitive window that is wide open right now. What would be the best choice for the Eagles with the 23rd overall pick? Would you bet on raw talent and transformational potential, or would you prefer the safety of a more established prospect? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.